All right. Hi, guys. It's Pleasance here, and I wanted to introduce you to my friend Rachel.
Hello.
And I invited Rachel over today to talk a little bit about her experience in Thrive. So, Thrive is the Little Om foundational course for sustainable well being. We teach the basic principles of wellness that can really grow and evolve and expand with you over your whole life is the intention. And when you start in Thrive, we then build on other ways that you can connect with the community. So you can join Thrive alumni retreats. Sometimes we have a mentorship going for participants of Thrive or alumni of Thrive. And it's really the foundational community that is a gathering of women coming together around these sacred practices and our well-being every day, and really coming together and saying, like, yes, I'm into that too. Yes, I want to be present with my family. Yes, I want to do really good work in the world, and I need to take care of myself along the way. So Rachel was a thriver in the winter Thrive. I'm trying to think.
Yep.
And I invited her over to share a little about her experience. So welcome.
Thank you.
And just tell us, why did you sign up, or why did you join the community?
Well, I signed up. I stumbled onto it because we worked together to train for teaching yoga, and I realized through that training that what we talked about almost more than anything else really was how my own practices, whether it be with yoga or meditation or just self-care in general, were foundational to my ability to teach and thrive as a teacher. And then I sort of saw you had this thing called Thrive, and you kindly, suggested that I join. And so I just feel so fortunate because it's really opened up my daily living experience because it's about the big and the little. It's those very small things you can do every day that have a big impact on how you are in the world. And it's
okay. So I need to know more about this. Like, what are some of the big things, and what are some of the little things? Because I think they're both relevant.
Let's see. The little things are understanding that you don't have to do anything, but that's one of the lessons. I think that was probably one of my biggest lessons, is I came to it with an inner narrative about what I should be doing, what I must be doing, and it set myself up to feel like I was failing because I thought I should be meditating every morning, and then any morning that I didn't meditate, I had failed. And I would, and for everything, if I didn't go to yoga practice, I would think, well, real yoga practitioners practice every day.
Yes.
And I would almost be in that situation where you have one slip up and then you stop, which is kind of worse than if you just sort of begin again and start fresh. So I think through having this really intentional kind of coursework with you about practices like yoga, meditation, journaling, nutrition, it made me realize that every day is an opportunity to do one or some of those things, but it can be based on what I actually want to do and not what I think I should do or what I think someone like me should do. I mean, which really removes you from yourself. And so I really got more in touch over the last few months with listening to that inner voice. And we've talked about the inner mentor versus the inner critic, which has been a really beautiful change that I think is probably one of the most important things that's changed for me.
Me too. When I learned that, definitely me too. So what about the big things? So you talked about some of the little things and kind of daily practice and using intuition to guide your well-being practices and being able to sort of choose your own adventure, which I think is a way more fun way to live our life than beating ourselves up for all the things we're not doing. So what are some of the big things that you found?
It has such a ripple effect into big things. So my level of reactivity toward the things in my life that I can't control has just shrunk down to a much more manageable level. It's not that I don't feel frustrated or upset or, I don't need to go into some things that happened this week there. But I could have, channeled my inner dad who was so reactive and impulsive and then, kind of shameful afterwards. And I think I have some of that in me. Mm-hmm. I've learned really in my heart that I can be a very neutral person, not in an indifferent way, but I can, and I think through meditation especially, observe events and incidences and remove blame from myself, for others, and as cliche as these things are when we say it is what it is or let it be, but really living that.
Right.
And I have a daughter and modeling that. So the biggest thing is how excited I am to live this way as a model.
Yeah.
I think we've talked about it so that she doesn't have to grow up and necessarily take a course about it because she'll just know that self-care is, where it all begins. And self-study. I mean, it's not all just rainbows and unicorns.
Right. Oh, I wish it was.
But it's not. But she needs to learn that, and so she's not even a year and a half, and she sits on a cushion with me sometimes, and it's powerful.
And I think that that's the big thing, is that it's lifestyle. Like this, we're talking about this over and over sort of lately, because I have a lot of people coming to courses and classes and saying like, I just need to know how to integrate this, and I just tell me how and tell me what to do. And the thing is that if it's your lifestyle and how you approach life from the foundation of abundance and wellness and wholeness as you already are, it's not only more fun, but it's more integrated with all your people, all your relationships, at work, at home. For me, it's definitely been with my spouse. Like, we're having so much more fun than we've ever had, just being alive together, because I'm in a good place of wholeness, and so is he. And I'm allowing him to be him without having to fix and change him, which is like the gift of a lifetime for our relationship.
Oh, that's amazing. Yes, exactly. It's actually, for me, what comes to mind above and beyond my partner relationship is other women in my life who aren't in Thrive, but who have that sort of, did you change your hair kind of thing? Like, what'd you do? It's like, oh, let me tell you about Thrive, And it's this gift just in sharing, and you can share a few ideas. I'm really carving out time, 5 minutes to breathe in the morning and journal a little bit. And I go, oh yeah, I used to journal, and you can just get them going on their own path. And I think absolutely it affects those around you in positive ways.
Oh, for sure. So you sort of touched on it, and I'd love to hear more about the community and about, I sort of like secretly think I'm a matchmaker too, because I love to find different women in Thrive who I know are going to love each other and like set them up and have them introduce them and say, hey, you share all these passions. So tell me a little about the community and just sort of like, not just the course, obviously, but just beyond that, how it's impacted you.
It feels like a sisterhood, before you even know the other women.
Yeah.
And so starting from there, any person that you recommended that I look at and, that I reach out to separately, it was like no question that I would do that because I knew there would be something that would come of it. And so the big thing for me that's come of it is accountability, sort of partners and people that I now text with and just check in. And, that's something that I think I've learned about myself also through some of the personality and character study that we've done, that I'm someone who responds to external so things, or the other people in my life, there's motivation that comes from that. And instead of saying like, oh, that means I'm lazy, or it means I can't motivate myself, it's like, what if I used accountability partners to my, benefit and to theirs.
So I think that all of this is like, just for me, I love hearing you share your story. I love personally creating communities and being able to teach practices and tools and tips that have so profoundly changed my life, and then sharing them out. It's actually part of our responsibility as yoga teachers and meditation teachers, and I'm fascinated and interested in Buddhism and Ayurveda, and all of these things have in it a responsibility of paying it forward. And so this is one of the things that Thrive is a way for me to pay forward all of these teachings and really honor the tradition. And so by asking Rachel to come and share out her story, it's again a way for me to honor sort of her leadership in her own life, stepping into, it takes a lot these days to take action and follow up and, really put yourself first and say, like, I'm going to do it in a way that feels good. I'm going to do all the things. I'm going to work, and I'm going to be a mom, and I'm going to be a wife, and I'm going to be active in my community. And the normal society, the way that it's working right now is so disabling for so many women, depleting. And paralyzing, depleting, exhausting, all these things. And we're sort of coming on the other side of that and saying, we want all of these things, and we need to understand our rhythm and our cycle and our routine in order to do that.
Right. And I've learned that in my own life, that if I try to sort of do everything and do it kind of to the max, that I have a sort of burnout point where then I have to stop everything, like very literally. I have to check out of everything. And I finally came to understand, that doesn't serve anyone. It doesn't serve the people I want to please. It doesn't serve myself. Right. And then I go through, a painful process. And it's not that that's to be avoided just because it's painful, but I'm learning now so many ways to prevent it.
Yes.
And probably the biggest one is to do less, not necessarily to like eliminate entire categories from my life, but to look where I have some flexibility to work less, to, do teaching yoga for some of my time. Just realizing I do have a lot of choices. I'm very fortunate in that way, and using them to do less, not more. Mm-hmm. And that has brought so much spaciousness and joy into my life. And that's one more thing I really want to say about Pleasance is that being around you, living your joy, living your life really joyfully, while also feeling other feelings besides joy, has given me permission to be joyful. And I think when we first met, I was like very tight about that. I think I'm happy. I don't really feel like I'm allowed to be happy. And it's just like, no, I am. I'm happy right now. And and I'm lots of other things too. But it's very infectious in a good way, contagious, to have that permission. And it's helped me to just walk around in a joyful space and own it.
That's
So thank you.
That is, like, at the end of the day, just the best part of the ripple, and the best part about how, because both Rachel and I care so deeply about the world and healing our own lives and our future. And again, it's like the best thing that we can do for all the humans that we come into contact with here in DC and beyond is just show up fully, wholeheartedly, bruises, pimples, and gray hairs and all, although I mostly dye mine now. But you know what I'm saying? Like, and just really step into that and feel that joyfulness, so that we can have enough energy and focus to do the work that needs to get done and that we want to do with our lives, and seeing our lives as that art. So anything that you'd like to say in closing, to people who are interested in Thrive?
Just, if you're interested, if you're interested, go for it. If you're interested, reach out to Pleasance and get the name of someone, talk to me, talk to someone about their experience. And there's no potential, there's no unintended negative consequence, as we say in the scientific world, to this process. So, the absolute worst thing that's going to happen is not much, and I guarantee you a whole lot will happen. So, go for it and give yourself permission to take care of yourself.
Love that. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you, guys. See ya.